Good afternoon, friends. This is Willie Lee Kersey Jr., the Simple Georgian. I haven't made a video in a while, and I've been really busy doing a bunch of different projects. And almost, I think the last video I told y'all I had a week of downtime at the house, got snowed in, dealing with some stuff, trying to take care of Dad with a little minor procedure he had. And then I came back out, run, I don't know, a week and a half, and then went down again. Had a bunch of maintenance stuff to do on the truck, and I'll update y'all on that. And still got some stuff to do on the truck. But anyway, what I wanted to update y'all on as far as the truck is concerned. This is a 07 Freightliner, and we had it, I had it rebuilt, the engine, and all the suspension components, things like that. And well, I didn't have it, the owner had it rebuilt, but I'm the first driver back in it. They went through, put all new components in the engine, new turbo, and when I say suspension, I'm talking, oh my Lord, that must have been $10,000 worth of suspension parts alone. Airbags, shocks, even on the cab, had the cab mounts underneath the cab up there by the engine, replaced the cab mounts, the airbags, the shocks on the cab, all of the airbags on the truck. This particular truck has airbags on the front end. It's I think it's a Hendrickson suspension. Shocks, brakes, drums, everything on the front end, tie rod ends, tires. I mean, they had duals, and they went to the super singles, which I'm fine with. I didn't think I would like them, but the more I'm running them, the better I like them. Number one, because it saves on the fuel. You get more weight. You got a wider traction on the, I've had a couple of times where it would slip, but nothing that I can't handle. When you've been driving as long as I have, it's no biggie. Turbo, everything on as far as the engine is new. Drive line, U-joints, carrier bearings. They put one new wheel on, but everything else was, reusable. Like I said, they traded the duals for a set of singles. They got a guy that they do that with, so they was able to trade the duals out for a set of singles. And but yeah, I mean, this truck has been going through ridiculous. The guy that bought the truck paid, I think they said, around $15,000, and completely went through everything in the truck. Now, having said that, they built the engine at the shop, at their local shop where this truck is out of. And so they saved a ton of money there. They changed the rear ends out. I don't know which rear ends was in it, but they changed it out, put 258s. It's got a direct 10 with a 14-liter Series 60 Detroit, the EGR, because like I said, it's in a 07 Freightliner. But if I was to do the math and talking to a mechanic while I was down and talking to the guy that's running the trucks for the owners, this truck probably has close to $55,000 worth of total money's put in it to put it on the road. Now, I've ran the truck approximately 27,000 miles now, and another driver run it for a short period, probably put 10, 15,000. So the truck's probably got 40, 45,000 miles on it. And come to find out, now they did not rebuild the motor when the other driver was in it. That was the reason they rebuilt the motor, because the other driver was in it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they found coolant getting into the oil. So that's when they made a decision to pull the truck off the road and rebuild it. And I'm the first driver that's been in it since it's been rebuilt. We've had a bunch of work. The only thing that I know that has not been done is the transmission is good. We looked at it. It's still good. And the third member. That's the only two things that is not new in this truck. But while the truck was down for that week, I had to put a turbo in it. The turbo, something happened, a piece of trash got in there and bent the fins on the turbo. So the turbo had to be replaced. We've been chasing the oil leak in this truck in the whole 30,000 miles that I've been driving it. And we never could find the oil leak. It's not blowing out the exhaust that we can tell, because it's not actually in the exhaust pipe. We took the turbo apart to see if we could find oil in the exhaust pipe. That's how we found out the turbo had bent fins. So, of course, we had to replace the turbo. The tie rod end that they put under it, it comes in a cardboard box, and the Zerk fittings aren't, how can I say it, protected the best in the world. So it was not taking grease in the front end. And when I was in the shop Saturday, doing my 120 on the truck, my annual inspection, they tried to put grease in the Zerk fittings, and it was just pouring water. And of course that tie rod end has been in the truck, 30,000, 40,000 miles, so it was shot. So they just went ahead, pulled it out, put a new tie rod in, and the tie rod end, when it was put in, was new. So it's got like 30,000 miles on the tie rod end that's shot now. They can't do anything with it. It's got, it had to be replaced. The turbo had to be replaced. And now, come to find out, as of Saturday, I think we found the last of the oil leaks. I had two. The oil drain plug on the pan, when I went to get the oil change, was loose. That was one leak. We got that fixed. Then we found a leak up by the compressor. There was a fitting at the bottom of the compressor area on the side of the engine that was leaking. We got that fixed. That was number two. And this time when we put this new turbo in, they found the O-ring on one of the sensors was messed up. And it was a special O-ring. It's not a regular round O-ring. It was a special O-ring. So what he done was he turned it over, put RTV around it to seal it up, and come to find out, oil's leaking out from between the turbo and the exhaust blower. So they're seeming to think that the rings hadn't seated. And come to find out, when I talked to the owner of the shop, this is the third truck that has used the same rebuild kit, which is a cheaper kit that the rings didn't seat. So that's telling us that this cheaper kit is not the better way to go. So, they was trying to save money, rebuild the engine, but the rings aren't seating, so they're having to go back in the engine. So that's next on the list. But all in all, the truck runs good. I'm not having any problems with it. I'm just using oil I went through 12 gallons of oil now and 30,000 miles, which on a 07 truck, it might not be so bad. But normally you would think 4 gallons at the max between oil changes. So, you got to think about that, Now, this particular truck has what they call the OPS filter system. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had to get something to drink. It's like 90 degrees down here where I'm at. Anyway, this particular truck has what they call an OPS system from Pittsburgh Power. You can look it up. It filters the oil down to like 0.3 or 0.03 microns. I mean, very minimum. And you can actually run the oil several thousand miles, with no problems. So, without having to actually change the oil. The only reason we changed the oil the first time was because we was pulling the break-in oil out. We pulled that out at little over 11,000 miles. And we went ahead and changed the oil. So, and then right after that, I had a grease job done like 2 weeks after that. And that's when we found the two Zerk fittings was missing out of the, one was out of the driver's side of the tie rod end, and the other one was out of the slack adjuster on the passenger side on the front S-cam. And like I said, all this stuff had been replaced and it was all new. So it had fell out, vibrated out or whatever within that 30,000 miles. So, I mean, that's not anything I can do about it. We just didn't find it till we did the grease job and, all that. So, evidently, the guy that changed the oil didn't find it either, because he would have said something, because he told me about a couple other things, about the drain plug. So he would have told me about the Zerk fittings. So evidently between the times they did the grease and lube on the oil change at 11,000 till 2 weeks later when I had another grease job done, it fell out. Now, having said that, I'm not the one greasing the truck. They've got a particular way they want to do it. The man that owns the truck, and that's what I'm going with. At this moment, I'm just driving the truck until I can get mine up on the road. And I've had a video about that, a couple of videos about that, about my truck. And speaking of my truck, I think in the last video I made of my truck, I mentioned that the radiator was leaking. But no, it's not leaking. It was the little petcock where you drain the coolant. That had a piece of trash in it. And when I opened it up and completely drained it out and closed it back up, it quit leaking. So it did not have a leak in it. It was just a piece of trash was keeping it open. And that's where the leak was coming from. So that's good news. I don't have to put a radiator on my truck. But there again, I did call Motive today, which is who I'll be using for a ELD, and I had to send them all of the pertinent information of my truck, the VIN number, the engine number, ECM code or ECM number. I had to send them a picture of the port, the diagnostic port that's up under the dash, which mine's a 6-pin. Most of the newer trucks is 9 or 12 pin. So I had to send them a picture of the diagnostic port, and like I said, all of that pertinent information so I could get the correct part to hook up a Motive ELD to my truck. But having said that, the only thing that I know that I have got to put on my truck at this moment is a set of tires, which my truck's a single axle, so I'll only need 6 tires. A set of brakes, a set of airbags, a set of shocks, both the frame and the cab. I don't have it on my steering axle, so it'll just be the back set. Couple of hoses, the belts on my truck are new. And really go through the grease, check everything out on the grease fittings. And when I change the tires out, I'm going to take the aluminum wheels off because, as I showed you in that one video, the threads wasn't coming out as far as they should. you're supposed to have like 3 to 4 threads outside of the lug nut minimum, and mine is right on the edge of the stud. So I'm going back to all steel wheels on my truck, which I like better anyway, because when I paint it, I'm going to paint it flat blue, just a flat color, and a flat black. The wheels and the frame will be, and possibly the bumper, will all be flat black, and the truck will be a flat blue. Is the way I'm going to probably paint it. Let's see, what else? I did find out through a forum that one of the reasons my hood is hard to open is the guides. The hood guides is probably not bad, but not in line, which makes the hood hard to open. It takes 2 people to open it, so I've got to check into that, which when I get the body man to do a couple of things on the fairings, I'll get him to look at the hood guides. And then the passenger mirror, I know I've got to fix that, replace that, because I don't know if I showed y'all, but the mirror was busted, the bracket was bent. So I'll get a minimum of a new mirror and put it on that bracket, or either I'll just get a whole new bracket, because when it got hit with the trailer, it pushed that corner of the door in on the passenger side a little bit. So I don't know if I'll get that fixed right off the bat, or if I'll just put that bracket back on and put a cheap mirror on there just to get by DOT inspection right now, because the door, a bend on the door is not going to fail me on the DOT. It's just I've got to have a mirror on that passenger side. So that's an update. And like I said, this truck for sure has got to go down again to get the sleeves put, or not sleeves, but the rings replaced, because the oil is leaking past the rings. The rings did not seat, so that means this truck's going to have to be going into again. And there we go. So I just wanted to update y'all, let y'all know I'm still out here, still doing what I can do. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Appreciate y'all subscribing. Appreciate y'all watching the videos. And thanks. And we'll make another one shortly. I do have a couple of more cigar and pipe videos coming out soon for those that's interested in that. But this one will be for under the Trucking 101 series that I'm doing for the trucking guys and girls. Trucking girls and guys. Need to correct my English. Talking too fast, trying to get through before the 20 minutes. So anyway, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Good luck. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks.